prepared. The coaches did their job with the game plan, but they got themselves prepared and ready to come on a short week. It's a great game. We asked them to fight. We asked them to fight at halftime, and then in full court we asked them to finish. We asked them to finish, and they did.
Questions? Mickey, what didn't you do in the first half that you did in the second?
We struggled. We struggled on offense, but the defense, we gave up some plays. We gave up some deep balls early. We had to settle it down and get things together, but we struggled on offense the first half.
How much were you worried about Casey's health?
Casey's tough. Like I told you, Casey's going to play. If Casey can get that ball out of his hand, he's going to play. Casey was raised by Charles Thompson, a grown man. You remember, he came into Nebraska and did us in a couple of times. So Casey's tough. Casey's going to be to take hits and get up.
How sweet was it to see the players just celebrate like that, to get the reward of a good second half?
Yes, like I told the defenses, 2 weeks in a row that they, shut somebody out the second half, I think, But so you're happy for them. You're happy for them. Like I said, they've been beat up for a long time, but now they're feeling the pressure that they know how to win. And like I said, they prepared themselves during the week. They got themselves ready to work. We only had one day where we put pads on and we hit. We had one day. Everything else was helmets and spiders. But they played to the full quarter, and they were the most physical team.
What's Quentin's status, and then what can you say about Malcolm and Brandon, the way they played in the second half?
Well, you know what? Next man up. Next man up. We talked to him about that. If you're a backup, you got to prepare like you're a starter. So you take your hat off to Bam and you take your hat off to Malcolm. Because Malcolm started, but he struggled, and we took him out for a couple of plays. But Q, I'm going to have to talk to Mark and see, what's the instead of Q's injury.
Q's hurt?
He's a little banged up. I think it was a groin. So that's why he was out.
What was the mood at halftime in the locker room? And how did you address that?
Well, no, we figured we still had it. It was a 2-score game. And we knew we had to play full quarters. We knew coming in here that this team was going to play tough. We knew it, but we had to make them play full quarters. So second half, we was really confident that we could come back and win the game.
Can you talk about the belief that the guys have now? Do you feel like that now, because of how important this one was, this could change the outlook that they have on the rest of the season?
Well, I think we take one game at a time with them. Our goal was to be 1-0 this weekend, and now we're 1-0. So we don't win 2 straight. But I'll tell you this: I think they starting to believe and they starting to see it though. You remember now they hadn't did this. This is kind of strange for them. But you see that they playing hard, they playing fast, and they're not giving up. And listen, I called them in the full quarter again. It was no doubt in their eyes that they was going to win the game. And it was the same way at halftime. They knew they was going to win the game if they keep fighting. We said it was going to be a street fight, but we said the type of street fight we're in, it's no rounds, it's no time. It's just let's keep swinging. Don't look at the scoreboard. And at the end, you'll come out on top.
Mickey, Miles Farmer, he's had some ups and downs this season, but he makes that pick. And then can you just speak about that sequence where he gets that big play and then turn around and go for the end zone?
Yes, Miles made a big play. Miles struggled the first couple of weeks. And he struggled with the first couple of weeks, with this scheme. But I stayed on Miles. I called Miles into my office. I stayed on Miles because I know Miles is a good player. I know Miles is a really good player. And we need his leadership out there. So I stayed on him, and Fish stayed on him, Billy stayed on him, and he showed up. He showed up today with a big play.
And Mickey, how big was that sequence where Blaze Gunnerson stopped the touchdown on a block punt and your defense held up for a field goal to keep it at 10-0?
No, that was big. That was big on Blaze's part. He stopped. He saved us 4 points.
Just in that moment to go down 14-0.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do 14-0, you're down 13. But listen, that was a great play by Blaze.
I know you trust Coach Whipple to kind of run the offense and run the plays. Was there a moment in there where you said, are you passing it too much? Or, that 4th down where you guys went empty? Were there any moments like that in the second half?
No. I'm going to let Whipple call his game. I mean, Whipple's a veteran. He's been doing this a long time. And what you don't do, you don't question guys, because he had to get him back on track. So I had to let Whipple call his game. I had to do it.
Well, that 4th and 1 that Sam was talking about, what went into that decision, that first and the third quarter that you guys didn't have as the empty set.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just explain what Whipple was talking about, why he called that play?
because we thought we was getting the coverage that for that play. We thought we was going to get that coverage, and we did. We just didn't execute it.
Yeah, getting back to the Farmer interception and the next play you throw to Trey. You knew that was coming? Did you feel pretty good about that call? And what do you say about Trey?
Yeah.
Another big play.
Yes, Trey. We knew Trey was going to be able to run by these corners, and we knew the safety was going to check down on the seam route. So it was a really good route by Trey. And one thing Trey can do when he sees it, he can go get it, and he made a great catch.
One or two more.
What happened to Reimer?
I got to talk to Mark about it. He just told me Luke was out and had to come in and get X-ray. So I got to talk to Mark and see what's going on.
I mean, we're playing a bunch of different guys that.
Next man up.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play with 10? No. If you're a backup or if you're a third guy, you got to get yourself prepared to play, because you're only one play away from getting in the game, and those kids understand that, because we got to put them in there. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not. But the next guy's got to get in there. I mean, this is big boy football. We got to put the next guy in, and he's on scholarship just like Luke's on scholarship. So he had to go in the game, and I expect him to execute the game plan.
How important is it to get a win when you're not playing in the prettiest type of way?
I mean, it's a great win, because we haven't had many. We don't won 2 straight. We won a road game. So this is big. This is good for the kids and good for the coaches. Like I said, this thing's bigger than me, but it's those coaches and those players that's really that's digging it in.
Last one.
You sense they were slowing you guys down on offense?
We struggled in the first half. They did.
Rutgers, that they were kind of slowing the tempo.
They slowed us down. But Rutgers is a good defense. They until last week, until the week Ohio State, they was top in the country. So they got a really good defense. Shiano was a good defensive-minded coach. So it was a chess match tonight.
And Nick, here you guys were all alone in first place for a couple hours. How does that feel?
Oh, I mean, first place is when you end the season, not now. I mean, it's fake first place. Thank you, guys.
We'll have 3 or 4 or a few questions for Travis, and then we got Garrett, obviously. And
This is cozy in here.
A lot of people in here for a small room.
What maybe changed for the offense from the first half to the second half? What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, obviously we made some adjustments at halftime, but let me just tell you, the fight in this team is incredible. That was the message. It's gonna be a dogfight. We're gonna get punched in the mouth. We're gonna punch them in the mouth. Just keep fighting. Don't give up. Obviously, we came out on top, and the fight in these guys is just incredible. The fight on defense, our defense played unbelievable today. Give a bunch of credit to them, and we found ways to make plays and ultimately come out on top.
When they kept it at 13-0, as bad as the first half was,
Mm-hmm.
what was the dialogue like in the locker room?
Yeah, obviously we were frustrated, but we just stay the course. It's a 4-quarter game. We knew that coming in. It was going to be a 4-quarter physical football game, we stuck to what we wanted to do. Made some adjustments at halftime. We got punched in the mouth a lot, but the fight in this team, guys came back out, made plays, and we got the W.
What did you see on your touchdown?
Yeah, I kind of knew it was there right away. I wanted to look back at Casey and be like, hey, throw me the ball. But that didn't, Casey, give all the credit to him, threw a great pass. Our whole offense, obviously we weren't perfect, but, we made enough plays. And like I said again, to give credit to our defense, unbelievable effort tonight. So we were able to come out on top.
It seemed like the plan at halftime was to just throw it more.
Yeah.
That surprised you that we're going to double down, we're going to keep attacking.
we've got some great playmakers on our offense. We want to get them the ball as much as possible, whether that's throwing the ball or running the ball. So, I trust these coaches with, with the plays they're calling. And, I mean, we come out on top, and it's a great night.
What was that sequence like, though, where, Miles has the pick,
Yeah.
Trey gets a touchdown, and it felt like you're going uphill all night,
Yeah.
and then how'd that flip on the sideline?
Yeah, in a moment like that, it's so easy to get, over energetic or overhyped. But, it was awesome. I'm just going to keep giving credit to our defense, the way they played tonight. Miles with a great pick, and, the other guys with interceptions and tackles and stuff. But yeah, it's a big momentum changer. It was huge. It was a big play, and then we throw a touchdown to Trey the next play, and I kept telling Trey all night, dude, we're gonna get you the ball. Just stay patient. We're gonna get you the ball. We need to get the ball to our playmakers. Casey threw a great ball, great protection by our line, and we scored on it. And it's a great night in New Jersey for Nebraska.
What's it mean to win 2 conference games in a row? You guys haven't done that since 2018.
Yeah, it's huge, but we're going to do the 24-hour rule. Obviously, got a big game next week. We're going to enjoy it for 24 hours, learn from our mistakes. Like I said, we weren't perfect tonight. There's a lot to fix, a lot to build on. We'll watch the film with our coaches, get coached up, and then move on for Purdue.
One more for Travis.
How big is it? Yes, you won, but you won when you weren't playing perfectly.
Yeah.
At times a little ugly out there.
Yeah, I mean, football's a hard sport. You're not going to be perfect in everything you do. Our coaches just telling you keep fighting. We were fortunate enough to make enough plays tonight. So on offense and defense, and I'm just super happy with the outcome. Love the guys on this team. Going to celebrate this win and get focused for next week.
All right, thank you, Travis.
Perfect.
It's pretty nice, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's fun football, man. Yeah, I don't really have any words. I just got to give credit to, my guys, man. I was telling Jessica out in the hallway when she was doing an interview. I think it was 6 minutes into that fourth quarter. I went to the defensive side of those bench, and I told those guys, I really don't know where I'd be without them, and I don't really think I want to be anywhere else with them, with these guys right here. It's so fun playing football with that group. I can't thank them enough for not even just what they do, on the football field, but just for me and for everybody else, off as friends and as people. They do a phenomenal job. I can't, with all the changes and everything that we've been going through. I mean, we've stuck together and made a pretty good defense so far.
They ripped off that opening drive.
Mm-hmm.
What's Bill Bush like, as far as you have a bad drive to start, getting you back on the right track?
I mean, that's football. You're in a hostile environment, an away game. You got to settle into the game. It's hard that first drive, getting your eyes right, and like I said, to settling into it. Up front, we need to just you go back to the fundamentals of football. You're striking your man on, getting your eyes right, tackling, things like that. Things start going fast. The first drive out there, new environment, first away game forever. So just settling into the game, reminding dudes, take it one series, one play at a time. Take a breath. It's not going that fast. You're out. Just be on the field. Look at each other. We've done a really good, and the other leaders on that defense and all those guys on the defense have done a really good job of just kind of coming back to the field as a unit, knowing what we need to do, knowing what the job we need to do.
Malcolm's a kid. He's a true freshman. Brandon got here about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Your 2 quarters at the end of the game, they both made interceptions. What can you say about the 2 of them tonight?
Bam Bam and I, first time we met, he said he really liked me, so got that going for me. I don't know if you guys have heard his story or have any idea what he's been through to be on that field with us. I would urge you to ask him. To have him on the team and to be as close as we are that quickly speaks to him as a person. the playing takes care of itself because of the person he is. I love that guy to death. You know, and he's been my teammate for, like you said, 3 months. Love taking the field with the guy, and Malcolm is like he's stepping up again. You know, and I told him, I shook his hand and said, "I'm so proud of you." There's no other words that I can really describe it as. It's just being proud of him, handling things well. You know, being out there on the island as a true freshman and playing in these tight games and keeping his composure. Like I said, I can't thank those guys enough.
Mark, can you describe just the sort of emotions you had from Dublin to today? I mean, what you've gone through this whole season to get to this point.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about a roller coaster, huh? A lot of it. The journey that, you know, not even just me, but the other guys have been on for years, and you know, obviously the past couple months, there's a lot of discovering a lot about yourself, especially with everything that's been going on. Discovering a lot about yourself and a lot about, you know, how strong our relationships are and friendships are with our coaches and our teammates. You know, obviously it's awesome to win games, but I'm proud of the fact of how stuck together we are as a unit, as a defense, as an offense, as a team, as special teams guys. I mean, that's really special when you can go through all this and be doing what we're doing, and how close of friends we are, not fraying from each other, especially in, you know, what it seemed like to be rock bottom. So, yeah, talk about a swing of emotions. But I love those guys to death, coaches, players, you know, my friends forever. So,
All good.
Thanks, guys.
The tunnel at halftime, were you getting treatment or what's going on?
Yeah, it was a physical game, rough game for all of us, obviously. For me, for sure, getting beat up in the first half. But, yeah, I was seeing the doctors and seeing the trainers, just trying to make sure I could go back in the game.
Was there any doubt?
I knew I was going back in the game as long as they cleared me to go back in. So, and then I had to get I had to take my pads off, had to end up redoing my tape, some different stuff like that. So really only was the last one out because, like I said, just had to take all my stuff off and get checked out. And then once I got cleared, they let me go back out after halftime. So the team went ahead, and then I came back in after half. And then Rutgers was walking down the tunnel, so then they made me wait. So that's kind of what took so long, or I would have been out a little sooner. I feel good. We won the game, so it's a lot easier to be sore after a win than it is after a loss. So, I mean, I know I'm going to be sore. We're going to be sore as a physical game on the road. A lot of adversity to push through tonight. You know, crowd noise, the music, having to change different snap counts, just different stuff like that. So we did a good job of finishing the second half, so I feel good right now.
When did the game finally settle in for you guys? Was there a moment you're like, hey, this is settled in?
Yeah, right before the half, we moved the ball down the field, and we knew we'd be fine. And then at halftime, as a quarterback and as an offensive player, you know when the defensive line and the defense is playing really hard, they're playing physical. I knew at some point that they had to slow down up front at D-line. They were getting back to real quick in the first half, in the first quarter. I can't even count. Probably half my throws, I was getting hit as I threw. A lot of times the coaches were asking me when I came off, like, what did you see? I just was throwing the ball before I could even see a receiver coming open. A lot of times they weren't out their breaks. So it was just having to make throws. And I knew at some point that we settled in right before halftime, but I knew that Rutgers would get tired on defense, and I knew that they wouldn't rush as hard up front at the defensive line position, and I knew that our receivers were going to beat them in the back end. We just had to get a little bit of time. So I think we really settled in the second half, and it showed. We were able to run the ball and throw the ball.
Was there any big speeches at halftime, or was it normal halftime? Because you guys down 13-0, a lot of people thought
Yeah. No, it was a normal halftime. Coaches had a lot to say. just playing our game and finishing. The biggest thing for us is we just have to move on to the next play and stay positive. And we knew we were getting the ball at a halftime, and we knew we were going to go down and score. So Mickey did a good job of regrouping us and talking to us. Like I said, I wasn't even with the team at half. Wasn't really able to talk to him in the locker room because I was seeing the trainers and seeing the doctors. But we were fine at halftime. We knew the defense was, on a good roll, and they were playing great, so they felt good. And then on offense, we knew we could get going, so that's what we did.
The throw to Trey after the Miles Farmer pick. What did you see there? What was the key there?
So I don't know what Rutgers is taught on defense, but a lot of times it's easy to see who they have in the back end because the corners and the safety's eyes, they stare directly at their man. So they had a safety on the hash. Trey was supposed to run a post route, and then I saw the safety was looking straight at the tight end. So I knew Trey's one-on-one on the outside, and then he beat him. He was really supposed to run a post route. He ended up running around the guy instead of inside releasing, so I just threw it where only he could get it.
Was that a seam route that the safety was looking for from the tight end?
Oh, the tight end had a corner route. Trey had a post over the top. Yeah, we like to run that. So that's one of the plays that we put in for the game plan, and like I said, it worked out great for us, and it was big time. It was big time play call.
When sometimes the team would run for 33 yards in the first half, and the offensive coordinator said, "We're going to run more." That isn't what happened. I mean, he just kept throwing. How much do you like that as a quarterback? And on that fourth down call, when it's empty, you're throwing the ball. Did that surprise you?
No, because it was 3rd and 2, and we ran the ball and we didn't get it. So we only picked up 1 yard. I think Yank got tackled. And then so the 4th and 1, whenever he called the empty pass play, in my head I'm thinking like, it's 4th and 1, I'm sure we want to do this. But once I saw the defense come out and I knew I had matchups around the field, that was man coverage as well. I could have taken Travis. Travis had a 5-yard stick route, which is a 5-yard out route versus man. And then we had double slants from the left side into the boundary. We had Trey running a slant on the inside, and then Marcus was running a 5-yard under route. And then they brought a free safety blitz from the boundary that came directly at me. He really had a free shot right through the A-gap to come hit me. So I just got some depth, and I just stayed in there and made the throw. And the DB made a good play on the ball, and unfortunately Marcus dropped it. But it was a good contested catch. I know those aren't easy. I didn't go say anything to Marcus on the sideline because, I mean, like I said, these guys, they get enough coaching, so they don't always need me to say something. I try to be positive. So I know at the end of the day I can lean on Marcus and Trey down the stretch. They're going to make more plays than not, so that's what happens usually.
Anything else for Casey?
Have you ever seen that many offensive pass interference calls? I think there are 4 in this game.
No, but I mean, the refs did a good job of seeing it. I think tonight they only called it because they were just fully extending their arm. But the one we had really killed us because we would have went all the way down the field on that drive. But no, I thought the refs did a pretty good job tonight, especially at the end. I mean, they called a couple for us too, and it worked out in our favor. We got the win, so I'm happy with the result. Yeah, I got to talk to Coach. So I don't know the rule, but we were trying to go in the center and just take a knee. I don't know if they're allowed to trying to go for the ball, or I don't know. Usually the refs just says, hey, they're taking a knee and they can't rush. But we probably need to talk to the coach about going in the shotgun or something because they were trying to scrap at it as soon as the ball was snapped. I had it the whole time, but they were just down there trying to rip and punch at the ball. So we were just trying to take a knee in victory formation.
It was really like, I don't know, I don't want to tell y'all the coverage, but I was really just playing man-on-one. Like, it was like a disguise, so I don't know. They needed the first down. I knew they was going to run around at the sticks. I just played it how they taught me how to play it.
And the play after that is Trey Palmer's touchdown.
Yes, sir.
Just so when you see that happen after you just picked off that pass.
Oh, that turned the whole sideline up. That changed the flow of the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's what a turnover will do. That's why they want us to get turnovers on defense. You know.
What can winning do? I mean, just having 2 in a row, that feeling you guys have experienced now again 2 weeks in a row.
We try and go 1-on-0 every week. We're not even worried about that game no more. We got a 24-hour rule. After Saturday, Sunday, we back to work. We ready for Purdue. You know. So, one game at a time.
Hey, Miles, Brandon Moore's got a pretty amazing story just to be on the field after a bunch of injuries. Can you talk about him coming in the game, you know, and contributing like he did, and Malcolm too coming back?
Yeah.
Those guys at corner.
That's what Bam came here to do, you know. He's 6 years senior, you know, he just wanted another shot, and Coach Fish gave it to him, you know. He went out there and did what he was supposed to do. He relied on his training. MC, Malcolm, he did his thing too, you know. He relied on his training. That's what practice is for, and it showed up in the game in a big-time moment.
One more from us. Hey, Miles, what does it mean for the defense to have back-to-back weeks when you pitch shutouts in the second half each week to help you guys win games?
I don't know. It tells us that it's something there. And we got to come out like that. We got to come out faster like that. We gave a touchdown in the first half, and they shouldn't have got that. So it keeps us ready to go at practice. It keeps us ready to come in practice, you know.
All good.
What was it like going against Noah Vedral, your former teammate?
It was good to see Noah out there doing what he loved to do, man. It was good to see him, you know. I ain't speak to him after the game. I didn't get a chance to, but it was good to see him out there playing and having fun like he was here.
Thank you, Miles.
Thank y'all.